Hey, what is up, ARMY? If you are watching this, you already know. Run BTS is back. And not just back. It came back louder, messier, and more chaotic than any of us expected. After 3 years of waiting, 3 years of solo projects, military service, and quiet longing for that specific kind of BTS energy that only exists when all 7 of them are in a room together with a camera and absolutely zero supervision, Run BTS 2.0 is here. And if the first 3 episodes are any indication, this season is going to be one for the books. But before we get into all of it, before we talk about what happened, why it matters, and why Jimin specifically keeps stealing every single moment, I need you to hit that like button right now. Not at the end. Right now. Because what we are about to break down is the kind of content that deserves your engagement before it even starts. And if you are new here, welcome. Subscribe. You are going to want to stick around for this one. Okay, let's go. There is a question that has been floating around ARMY spaces ever since Run BTS 2.0 dropped its first episode on April 23, 2026. And the question is this: how does he do it? How does Jimin, a man who just finished commanding sold-out stadiums across Asia and North America as part of the Arirang World Tour, a man who has a Rolling Stone cover, a man whose freestyle dance clips from the concert tour were getting tens of millions of views, how does that same person walk into a vacation house with 6 other guys and immediately become the funniest, most watchable human being in the room? How does that happen? How is that a real thing that a real person is capable of? That is what this video is about. And I promise you, by the time we are done, you are going to understand exactly why Jimin is not just BTS's best performer. He is BTS's best variety show presence. Full stop. No debate. Let's start at the beginning. Let's talk about what Run BTS actually is, and why its return in 2026 means so much more than just another piece of content. Run BTS originally launched back in 2015. At the time, BTS was not yet the global phenomenon they would become. They were a hardworking, ambitious group of 7 young men trying to carve out space in one of the most competitive industries in the world. And Run BTS was the show that let the world see who they actually were when the choreography stopped and the music faded. No scripts, no elaborate sets, just games, missions, challenges, and the kind of raw, unfiltered human chemistry that you cannot manufacture no matter how much money you throw at a production budget. The show ran for over 155 episodes across 3 seasons, becoming one of the most beloved pieces of long-form BTS content in existence. And then, in late 2021, it went on hiatus. The members were preparing for what would eventually become their military service. The group stepped back from group activities, and for 3 years, ARMY waited for this specific energy to return. It did not come back quietly. Run BTS 2.0 debuted with a prologue episode on April 7, 2026, where the members sat together and talked through what they wanted this new version to look like. Post-military service, post-solo projects, post-Arirang. What kind of show do they want to make? What they landed on was something looser, more organic, more travel-based. Less about manufactured challenges, and more about genuine moments. And honestly, that instinct was exactly right. Because what Run BTS 2.0 has delivered in its first 3 episodes is not just funny content. It is a document of who these 7 men are right now in 2026, after everything they have been through. And Jimin, ParkJimin, the boy from Busan, the one Rolling Stone just called the member with a range vastly superior to his peers, the one who had ARMY screaming at sold-out stadiums from Tampa to El Paso, that Jimin shows up in Run BTS 2.0 in a way that is completely and entirely himself. And it is absolutely irresistible to watch. Let's talk about Episode 1. Because Episode 1 is where the tone for this entire season gets set, and it is where Jimin's variety show instincts announce themselves immediately. The premise of Run BTS 2.0's opening arc is simple: BTS trip. All 7 members go on a trip together. They stay at a vacation house, and from the moment they arrive, it is chaos. Beautiful, wonderful, completely unscripted chaos. The first major event of the trip is the room assignment saga. And if you have not seen it, here is what you need to know. The members have to pick rooms, but with a twist, they do not know who else has already claimed which room. So what you get is a psychological game of chicken where nobody wants to be the person who ends up in the worst room. and everybody is trying to read everybody else's intentions while pretending they're not doing exactly that. Now here's where Jimin comes in. Because the thing about Jimin in variety settings is that he has this instinct for the moment. He has an almost theatrical sense of timing. He knows when to react, he knows when to hold back, and he knows when the camera is going to catch something worth catching. It is not calculated. It reads completely genuine, but it is also undeniable that Jimin understands the rhythm of entertainment in a way that is unique, even within a group that is, collectively, very good at this. The result of the room assignment saga is that Jungkook ends up with an enormous room featuring multiple beds entirely to himself, while Jimin and Jin end up sharing a room together. And the moment that pairing happens, the energy of the show shifts. Because Jin and Jimin sharing a room is not just logistically funny, it is emotionally resonant. These are two members with a long history of being each other's comedic counterparts, and putting them in the same space and letting the cameras roll is the variety show equivalent of handing two great improvisers a stage and saying go. What unfolds between them across the episodes is exactly what ARMY has always loved about their dynamic. There is warmth there is real friendship, and there is also the specific kind of gentle chaos that happens when two people who genuinely like each other are also both trying to be the funniest person in the room at the same time. It is a competition nobody admits is happening, and it is absolutely wonderful to witness. But it is episode 2 where things really start to escalate. And episode 2 is where the seeds for episode 3's foot volleyball game are planted in the most hilarious way possible. The second episode of Run BTS 2.0 is titled, and I want you to appreciate this title in its full glory. You've never kneeled with your hands up for an hour, have you? Which tells you everything you need to know about where this episode is going. The members are sitting around doing what BTS does best in unstructured settings, talking, joking, coming up with increasingly absurd challenges and scenarios for each other, and the conversation somehow arrives at the question of what punishments should exist for losing a game of foot volleyball. V, who apparently woke up that morning and decided today was the day he was going to cause maximum chaos, suggests the losing team must kneel with their hands raised above their heads. Not for a minute, not for 5 minutes, for an extended period. And the reaction from the rest of the group, the laughter, the disbelief, the slowly dawning horror as they all realize this is actually going to happen, is the kind of moment that makes you remember why Run BTS became a cultural institution in the first place. Now, somewhere in this conversation, Jin looks at Jimin and, with complete sincerity, suggests that Jimin's personal challenge, the thing that would be hardest for him specifically, would be climbing the Himalayas. Let that land for a second. Jimin just did a world tour. Jimin's body control and physical conditioning is, objectively, at an elite level. And Jin's suggestion is, you should climb a mountain range. Jimin's reaction, the genuine astonishment, the wide eyes, the complete inability to process this as a real suggestion, goes viral within hours. Because this is what Jimin does. He does not just react to things. He reacts to things in a way that makes you feel the exact emotion he is feeling, immediately and completely. It is an empathy superpower, and it is one of the reasons he is so compelling to watch in variety settings. There is also the moment where Jimin, in the context of the group, discussing what they would do with old belongings, says with complete comic seriousness that he would throw out all of his debut-era clothes and sell them at a flea market. The casualness with which he says this, the absolute unbothered energy, it becomes a whole discussion, and Jimin is at the center of it, completely in his element. But all of this, the room assignments, the punishment negotiations, the Himalaya suggestions, is really just the setup. The 3-episode arc of Run BTS 2.0 has been building to one thing: foot volleyball. And foot volleyball, for those who have been in the fandom long enough to remember the legendary Picnic episodes from 2018, is not just a game. It is a tradition. It is a sacred, chaotic, deeply funny tradition that produces some of the best unscripted BTS content in existence. The reason foot volleyball works so well as Run BTS content is not because BTS is particularly good at foot volleyball. It is because they are beautifully, entertainingly bad at it in ways that are completely unique to each member's personality. And Jimin's personality, when it encounters a physical game that he should theoretically be excellent at. Remember, this is a trained dancer with body awareness at a professional athletic level, and somehow ends up producing maximum chaos regardless, is a comedy gift that keeps giving. Here is the thing about Jimin and physical challenges in Run BTS. You would think, given his background, given his technical skill, given the level of physical control he demonstrates every single night on the Arirang World Tour stage, that Jimin would dominate any game requiring coordination, timing, and athleticism. And sometimes he does. But in the specific pressure cooker of Run BTS, surrounded by members who are trying to distract him, with the stakes of whatever absurd punishment has been agreed upon hanging over the game, Jimin's competitive instinct kicks into overdrive in a way that is hilarious to witness. He cares. He cares so much. And the gap between how much he cares and how the game actually unfolds is where the magic lives. Think about the original foot volleyball episodes. Think about every time Jimin has been in a physical game setting on Run BTS, and the result has been some combination of incredible athleticism and completely unexpected chaos. That pattern does not go away just because 3 years have passed. If anything, it intensifies because now the contrast is even sharper. Now we are watching the same person who just performed Hooligan for 50,000 people, who had professional sports analysts describing his freestyle dance as something they had never seen at that scale, try to kick a ball over a net without letting his team down. And the stakes, thanks to V's contributions to the punishment committee, are genuinely uncomfortable. This is the architecture of why Jimin always ends up as the star of Run BTS 2.0. It is not because anyone is forcing it. It is not because the show is designed around him. It is because Jimin brings something to unstructured group settings that is genuinely rare. He is fully present. Not performing being present. Actually present. His reactions are real. His frustration is real. His laughter is real. His competitive spirit is real. And his affection for the 6 people around him is real in a way that comes through every single frame. You can have all the talent in the world and still be someone who retreats into a kind of careful performance in variety settings, because variety is vulnerable in a way that the stage is not. The stage has choreography. The stage has rehearsal. The stage has structure. Variety has none of those things. And Jimin, whose perfectionism has been well documented, whose Rolling Stone interview just last month described him as someone who is never fully satisfied with his own work, who once said he was not ready when BTS debuted and has spent his entire career running towards some internal standard of excellence, that Jimin is the most relaxed and most himself in Run BTS. That is not a contradiction. That is a testament to how much he trusts the 6 people he is with. There is something else worth noting about why Run BTS 2.0 matters so much, and why Jimin's presence in it lands the way it does. We are watching this show in the context of the Arirang World Tour. We are watching this show while Jimin is actively one of the most talked about performers on the planet. The El Paso concerts just happened. The hashtag JiminRocks El Paso trended globally. Videos of his freestyle dancing and his stage commanding the entire stadium were everywhere. And then, days later, there is episode 3 of Run BTS 2.0, and there is Jimin playing foot volleyball and reacting to the chaos of a BTS trip with the same genuine, unguarded energy he has always had. That whiplash is part of the magic. The fact that the same person who makes 50,000 people lose their minds on a stadium stage can also be the person who reacts to Jin suggesting he climbed the Himalayas with the face of a golden retriever who has just been told the park is closed. That combination is uniquely, irreducibly Jimin. An army, globally, is responding to it exactly the way you would expect. The clips are everywhere. The reaction videos are everywhere. The quiet, emotional posts from fans who watched Run BTS 2.0 and felt something they had been missing for 3 years, those are everywhere too. Because Run BTS 2.0 is not just entertainment. It is reunion content. It is the proof of concept that everything BTS built before the military service is still here, still alive, still burning. The music is back. The tour is back. The records are being broken again. But Run BTS is the proof that the friendship is back. And Jimin, across all 3 of these episodes, is one of the clearest, most consistent expressions of that fact. He is funny. He is warm. He is competitive in ways that make you root for him even when, especially when, the outcome is chaotic. He is someone whose presence in a room makes the room better. And Run BTS 2.0 is giving us that 3 episodes in, with no sign of slowing down. So if you have not watched episode 3 yet, go watch it. Right now. Pause this video, Go to the Bangtv YouTube channel, it is completely free, and watch all 3 episodes. And then come back here and tell me in the comments, what was your favorite Jimin moment? What made you laugh the hardest? What made you feel something unexpected? Because that is what Run BTS 2.0 is doing. It is making us laugh. It is making us feel. And it is reminding us, episode by episode, exactly why we fell in love with these 7 people in the first place. Jimin is not the star of Run BTS 2.0 because the show decided he should be. He is the star because he cannot help it. Because he shows up fully every single time. Because he brings his whole self. The performer, the competitor, the friend, the slightly chaotic vacation companion who apparently wants to sell his debut clothes to every moment. And that is a rare and beautiful thing to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new today, if this made you smile, if it made you want to go back and rewatch your favorite Run BTS moments, please like and subscribe. Drop your favorite Jimin Run BTS moment in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And I will see you in the next one.